I'm Chantel, the owner of a small diner at a southern Chicago intersection. Not the kind of place that gets 5 stars on Yelp or ends up on TV. We serve burgers, hot coffee, and kindness. The kind of kindness I learned from my mum, a woman who cleaned the train station every night and always told me, "You might not have money, but you can always have compassion." That morning started like any other. I wiped the tables, flipped on the lights, and tuned the old radio to some jazz. A group of workers came in, then an elderly woman with her little dog. But then the door burst open and a tall man walked in. Big beard, leather jacket with a Hell's Angels patch on the back. All eyes turned to him. No, not because he'd done anything wrong, but because he looked different. Different in a way that made people want to pull away. He sat quietly in the far corner, head down, as if trying to make himself smaller so he wouldn't bother anyone. I walked over, smiled, and asked what he'd like. He barely muttered, "Just black coffee, thanks." I poured it and set it down gently. No judgment, no suspicion, just one human serving another. 5 minutes later, the door opened again. This time, 2 white police officers. They didn't ask anyone anything. They walked straight to the bikers' table, hands near their holsters, eyes sharp. One said loudly, "We got a report of a suspicious person matching your description wandering the area." No one reported anything. I know every customer around here. This was just another case of unjustified investigation, the kind I'd seen my whole life. The biker looked up, calm but not weak. "I'm just having coffee," he said, his voice low and tired. "I rode over 300 miles. I just need a break." One officer scoffed. "ID? Mind if we search your bike out there?" I don't know what made me do what I did next. Maybe it was something deep inside, something from watching my mother get her purse searched in a supermarket just because she was black. That old familiar sting of injustice. I stood up, stepped between them and the biker. "He's a customer," I said. "Unless you have a warrant, I think you should leave my diner." They stared at me, stunned. A black woman standing up for a white biker? A Hell's Angel? "Do you even know who he is?" they asked. "I know he's a person, and he's my guest. In here, guests are treated with respect, not like criminals because of how they look." A long silence followed. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew I couldn't step back. Finally, one officer said, "You should be careful with people like him." Then they left. I turned around. The biker was still there. His eyes said everything. Surprise, and something that looked a lot like pain. "Thank you," he said hoarsely. I just smiled. "Everyone's welcome here." He left shortly after. I didn't think much of it. Just another morning in my life. But the next day, I heard the roar of engines in the distance. Not one, but hundreds. I looked out the window and couldn't believe what I saw. The entire street was packed with Harleys. I stepped outside. A sea of leather jackets. Hell's Angels, black bikers, outlaws, and other clubs I didn't even recognize. They stood silently, like an army. Then the biker from yesterday stepped forward and walked up to me. "We heard what you did. You stood up for me when no one else would. Today, we're here to stand with you." I couldn't hold back my tears. "Heureuse?" He turned around and shouted. "Today, this diner is our home." The crowd of bikers began walking in. They filled every table. They ordered food, laughed, thanked me. Some hugged me. Some gave me patches, shirts. Even one biker handed me a custom jacket with my diner's name stitched across the back. A tall black biker told me, "You did something many of us have never had done for us, treated like a human being." I stood there, overwhelmed. The people society told me to fear, were the ones who protected me, honoured me, and showed me that this world still holds connections deeper than skin colour, past mistakes, or prejudice. I used to think I was just a waitress. But one action, one moment of standing up for what's right changed everything. And if you're hearing this story, I hope you remember. You don't need power. You don't need weapons. You just need a heart in the right place. And the courage to use it. This world isn't changed by the strongest people. It's changed by the bravest. Share this story, not for me, but because someone out there might need a reason to believe that kindness still exists. And sometimes it comes from the most unexpected places.